My name is Darren Locke, and I'm doing Prog Review, Steve Hackett, Islington Assembly Hall, 20th of May 2012. Oh yes.
Hello, and welcome to Prog Review 72. Today, I'll be talking about a gig. Yeah, they let me out. They let me out on good behaviour, and I was allowed to worship at the shrine of Mr. Stephen Hackett himself. We wandered north to the Islington Assembly Rooms on the 20th of May 2012. Beyond our normal realm, beyond our ken, we travelled far and walked until we reached said assembly rooms where we assembled in our throngs. I was upstairs, unreserved balcony, so it was a bit of a, had to get your seat, settle down, watching all these older sorts, jostling for their seats was good fun. But before the action started, I actually needed to, answer the call of nature. So I went into the gentleman's facilities, and being a sufferer of the condition known as shy pea, I used the one single cubicle. And when I'd finished, I did the decent thing, and I pulled the chain, and the handle came off in my hand. Such is the brute force administered by these wonderful handies. Yes, so that was the start of the gig. That was a good start. But yeah, so enough of my toilet habits. That'll get a few thumbs downs, I should imagine. I took my seat and waited for the gig to start, and it started around 7:45. Timing's important. Started with Mr. Hackett himself coming on, did a little bit of classical gas before opening with Horizons, big round of applause. Went into Hands of the Priestess, accompanied by his brother John on the old flute. And then the band launched into the first hour of the gig, which was like a now and then type concert. And they did the then before the now. So we had an hour of Genesis and Steve Hackett stuff taken from Voyage of the Acolyte, his first solo album, which was very, 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 very good. All the usual Genesis songs were trotted out, and so you have Watcher of the Skies, Firth of Fifth. Oh, big round of applause for that! Lots of applause. Very, very, very good. Fly on a Windshield, going into Broadway Melody of 1974. Shadow of the Hierophant, that was good. Ace of Wands, that was good. And the Genesis stuff translated really well, was very, very, very powerful. Too powerful, in fact. Watcher of the Skies was so powerful, it sounded a bit like this. Yeah, they needed to turn it down a bit, but it was very, 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 very loud and very impressive. And a big thumbs up to Gary O'Toole on the drums and vocals, who does a very, very, very admirable job of doing the whole Gabriel Phil Collins thing with Blood on the Rooftops. He does that great version of that. Carpet Crawlers. I sung my little heart out to that. The first hour was absolutely phenomenal. It was a really powerful section of music, and then there was a half an hour interval. Half an hour. I know it was enough time so that the fans could empty their colostomy bags, untangle their Zimmer frames and pop their dislocated hips into place after boogieing around too much. But yeah, so the first half was just, second half was the more modern stuff, and there was tracks taken from Out of the Tunnel's Mouth and the new one, whatever it was called, Over the Hills and Far Away. I think that's what it was called, wasn't it? That sounds about right. And yeah, it was a good mixture of music, and I enjoyed stuff more from the new album. works rather well. I think it's stronger than Out of the Tunnel's Mouth, though I'm sure some will disagree. And the band are really, really good and really, really tight. And then at the end, I did an encore every day, and the other one, Spectral Mornings. And yeah, I mean, it was a good gig. I know my only problem with it was splitting the old and new stuff. I mean, on paper it sounds like a great idea, but everything was so exciting in the first hour. I was so happy and excited with it all that I felt a bit exhausted. And then you had this long interval, and my energy levels just kind of dipped. And then, by the second half, I found myself, a little bit removed from the music. And plus, there was some bint in front of me who had the fucking iPhone out, videoing 30 seconds clips every so often. It's in my peripheral vision, it's in my peripheries, and that was really bugging me. And I wanted to shove that iPhone right up her arsehole. Such was the annoyance levels. I mean, I did a little bit of video at the beginning, which you've seen, but I would never video during the gig. I mean, why? Totally remove yourself from the concert by doing that. But hey, that's what people do, and personally, I should be taken out, put against the wall, and shot. There you go. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice, intimate venue. The Assembly Halls was really nice. It holds about 850 people, 400 down the bottom. Is it 450 down the bottom, 500 at the top? And we were up the top, and I'm glad we were, because I got a good view of the stage. And the acoustics were quite nice, though. When the band really cranked it up, it did kind of and reverberate somewhat. Steve Hackett was in good form. Great song selection, and the modern stuff. I do like the stuff from Beyond the Shrouded Horizon. I do like that stuff. And Amanda Lehman did her little singing bit on Hierophant, and coming back to life. I think she did rather well there. But yeah, I mean, a really tight band. It was nice to see John Hackett again. And it was all for a good cause. I think it was for Childline, a charity, British charity, which was good. But I don't know if the now and then concept worked for me. It just, at the end, I felt totally and utterly drained, and the half an hour interval was just, I felt on it. 15 minutes would have been enough. But that's just me. I'm getting old. But if they'd have, maybe if they'd have put the new stuff at the beginning and the Genesis stuff at the end, I think, it would have lifted the energy levels somewhat. I wasn't the only one. I was looking around, and you could see that, after being bamboozled by that first hour, and it really was really powerful. It was probably the best versions of Genesis I've heard. Better than Musical Box and better than the Hackett band before. And it was just really. I can't express just how good it was. It was really a really good hour of music, and it's just a shame. Like I said, I'm repeating myself. The energy levels were dipping. So on to my rating. I've only got about a minute left, so I need to get my rating out. Well, I'm going to give this 4.5 acolytes. Should we say acolytes? I think I've done Hierophants before. 4.5 acolytes out of 5. Half knocked off for the half an hour interval. It meant that we didn't leave till 10:30, and by the time we get home, it's 11:45, which is a bit late. But yes, I'm only knocking half a point off. Other than that, I thought it was really good, and it was a nice intimate gig. And hopefully, Hackett will play more gigs at the Assembly Halls, because it was really, really, really nice, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's it. My name's been Darren Locke. I've been written on about Steve Hackett and his band playing live in aid of Childline on the 20th of May 2012 at the Islington Assembly Halls. You know what to do. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, unsubscribe, hug your granny, kiss the dog, keep watching, and that's it. My name's been Darren Locke. Only one more thing to say. Prog on.